These are the top 5 most badass superhero scenes. We express our gratitude for sticking on OKTV Today YouTube channel this far. Please make sure to leave a like and a comment, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification. Let's head down with the countdown. Hulk vs. Blonsky, the Abomination. Blonsky knocks Spar unconscious from behind as she is interviewing Stearns. Stearns is afraid, but Blonsky says he wants Stearns to transform him into what Bruce transforms. Stearns is eager to comply for reasons unrelated to Blonsky's threats, but he warns Blonsky that the end outcome, given what Blonsky already has, might be an abomination. Blonsky raises Stearns to the ceiling and declares that this constitutes informed consent, and the ball begins to roll. Stearns' technique takes hold as Betty and Bruce enjoy a moment in the chopper, and, now the Abomination, crashes the whole lab, dumping chemicals over Stearns, whose head bubbles strangely and begins to grow wider and flatter as he grins. Blonsky rushes outside and begins tearing up the streets and troops left behind. And one of the soldiers sends a message to Ross saying, "The Hulk is loose." Ross looks to Banner, who is equally surprised, and adds, "That's impossible." They manage to get a video of the Abomination ripping up the city. Bruce knows that there is only one thing that can stop it, and Ross agrees. They walk over to the construction site and open the rear entrance. Betty urges Bruce not to do it, stating they don't know whether he'll change, but he insists on trying. They kiss, and he then allows himself to fall backward. He gets over the building level and says, "Oh, she." Down the street from the Abomination, a massive hole emerges in the middle of the pavement. The Hulk carefully pushes himself out of the hole, roaring. Blonsky listens and smiles as the two creatures rush toward one another. They leap and connect in mid-air, Blonsky leading the way, briefly dazzling Hulk and pounding him down the street. Hulk brushes it off before ripping a police cruiser in half and launching it at the Abomination. Blonsky absorbs the blow before unleashing his own, striking Hulk through a building and all the way downtown. As Ross orders the helicopter gunner to commence fire on Blonsky, the Abomination roars in joy and pursues after him, scaling over and over buildings to catch up. Blonsky narrowly avoids all of the gunshots and catches up to Hulk, pummeling him more before choosing to steal the copter. When Hulk discovers Betty in there, he roars and grabs Blonsky, forming a copter Abomination Hulk chain. The pilot claims that there is too much weight on her and that he must land her, as Hulk and Abomination continue their struggle on the landing struts. The fighting grows too much for the helicopter, and it crashes near a building site, as is always the case. Blonsky continues to hammer on Hulk while Betty and Ross extract themselves from the rubble. A spark from the main rotor strikes a gas puddle beneath the helicopter. When Hulk notices this, he grows angrier and larger, and manages to push the Abomination away just in time to generate a sonic boom, which extinguishes the flames by creating a limited vacuum. Meanwhile, the Abomination has discovered a massive chain with two mace-like attachments on the end and is happily swinging it at Hulk. Hulk gets beneath it, grabs the chain, and wraps it around Blonsky's neck. He tightens his grip, knocking Blonsky out. When Betty yells out, "Stop!" he pulls it tighter, desperate to eliminate the cause of his grief and agony. When Hulk sees her, he calms down and obeys. Hulk tosses the Abomination to settle at the feet of Ross before letting free with another triumph shout. For a little period, all is silent. No one moves as the Hulk looks about suspiciously at all the small people with noisy weaponry as a second helicopter comes with a searchlight screaming. Hulk screams in fury and returns to the rooftops, fleeing. Thor vs. Hela fight scene, Thor Ragnarok 2017. Thor, Chris Hemsworth, learns that he has a sister, Hela, the goddess of death, Kate Blanchett, when Odin, Sir Anthony Hopkins, passes away. She is a very strong and evil person who seizes Asgard's throne and murders anybody who stands in her way. Thor fights Hela fiercely when he gets to Asgard, but he is still defeated and loses an eye. Hela is going to wipe off the people who had tried to flee through the Bifrost Bridge. Feeling he is worthless without his hammer, Thor gets a vision of Odin, who reveals to his son that the hammer just channeled his energies, reminding him he is the god of thunder. Odin also tells him that Asgard is a people, not a place, and that they can re-establish their society and culture anywhere. Thor, being fully aware of his skills, releases a tremendous lightning bolt that repels Hela. While Valkyrie and Heimdall fight Hela's army, Loki joins forces with Korg and other escaping warriors to get a ship, which he uses to escape the Asgardians. To combat Fenris, Banner also changes back into the Hulk. Scourge, feeling guilty over his alliance with Hela, sacrifices himself to facilitate the ship's escape. Thor joins forces with Valkyrie and Loki, knowing that Hela would soon return, strengthened by Asgard's might. Thor concludes that he cannot avert Ragnarok and must instead bring it happen in order to destroy Hela, and sends Loki down to the vaults to toss Surtur's head into the eternal flame. Captain America vs Loki fight scene. If Earth's mightiest heroes are to stop Loki and his alien army from enslaving mankind, they must band together and learn to fight as a team. Steve Rogers, Chris Evans, on the other hand, is quite straightforward to track down. S.H.I.E.L.D. has been monitoring him since he was discovered alive under the ice. Rogers' first mission is to travel to Stuttgart and apprehend Loki before bringing him aboard the helicarrier. Loki is at a sophisticated black tie banquet at an art institution, kidnapping a doctor who possesses the ingredient required to make the Tesseract function. Loki executes his plan as Dr. Selvig makes a distraction and Hawkeye kills the guys defending the building. Outside, he is telling the citizens present that they must kneel before him or else, and that freedom is the great deception of life. However, one elderly man defies Loki and prepares to smite him down. The deadly shot, however, is expertly stopped by Rogers' shield as Captain America before he moves to meet the deity. As Rogers confronts Loki, Tony makes his entry to the tune of AC/DC's Shoot to Kill, with full Iron Man armaments drawn, challenging Loki to make a move. Loki swiftly surrenders when the two heroes arrive, and the jet encounters a lightning storm while being transported to the high-tech jail on board the helicarrier. Team Iron Man vs Team Cap Airport Battle Scene. Captain America, Civil War 2016. To stop Zemo, Cap assembles a squad that includes Bucky, Falcon, Hawkeye, Scarlet Witch, and Ant-Man, Paul Rudd. They all become renegades by acting outside of authority. Iron Man organizes his own squad to arrest the others, which includes War Machine, Black Panther, Black Widow, Vision, and Spider-Man, Tom Holland. Two teams gather at Leipzig Airport in Germany. Cap's plan involves stealing the Quinjet some members of the other team arrived in. Stark tries to appeal to Rogers but fails and a pitched battle breaks out. Stark insists that Peter Parker remain at a distance and use his webbing to subdue anyone he can. Black Panther intends to capture Bucky. Ant-Man grows to 80 feet in height, confusing Stark's troops and allowing Cap and Bucky to escape to the hangar with the Quinjet. The Black Widow looks to be determined to stop them, but she turns on Black Panther, allowing Cap and Bucky to escape in the Quinjet. War Machine attempts to stop them from fleeing, but Falcon pursues him. Iron Man heads to the Raft, an isolated Arctic prison facility where the other members of Cap's squad are held under the supervision of Secretary Ross, after discovering proof that Bucky was framed for the Vienna explosion. Tony is able to temporarily disable the facility's audio surveillance system, proving to Sam that Rogers was correct and that Zemo murdered the psychiatrist who was meant to analyze Bucky. He is able to find out from Sam Wilson where Rogers and Bucky went. Tony boards his private chopper and slips out in his Iron Man armor, traveling to Siberia to meet up with Cap and Bucky and make peace. Tony orders Vision to halt Falcon. Vision fires an energy beam from the Mind Stone, which Falcon avoids and instead strikes War Machine's arc reactor, destroying his armor's functions and forcing him to fall from the sky and hit the ground before Falcon or Stark can reach him. Stark discovers Rhodes is barely alive. Tony knocks Falcon unconscious with a repulsor blast when he attempts to convey his condolences. These are the top 5 most badass superhero scenes episode 4 with an additional bonus fight scene as an appreciation to our fans for staying locked in on our channel. Please make sure to leave a like and a comment and don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification. Let's proceed with the countdown. 5. Sanchi vs 10 Rings bus fight scene. In an attempt to increase his might, Wenwu sets out in 1996 to find the town of Tarlo, which is rumored to be home to a number of legendary monsters. When he discovers the village's entrance, Ying Li, the village's protector, stops him from going inside. Shang-Chi and Xialing are the couple's 2 children, born after their love affair. To live with his family, Wenwu gives up the 10 rings and his organization. But later, Wenwu picks up the 10 rings once again to slaughter them and go on with his nefarious operations when Li is killed by the Iron Gang, the 10 rings' longtime opponents. At the age of 14, Shang-Chi starts martial arts training and is dispatched by Wenwu to kill the Iron Gang boss. Following his successful assignment, a distraught Shang-Chi flees to San Francisco and takes on the alias Sean. Together with his best buddy Katie, Shang-Chi works as a valet nowadays. Shang-Chi and Katie are ambushed by the 10 rings, commanded by Razor Fist, as they ride the bus to work. After fending them off, Shang-Chi finds that his mother's necklace has been stolen.